Good morning, everyone. Good morning, people on, I forget, I always want to call it Zoom, but I know it's not called Zoom, but those out there, welcome. So it does my heart good to see all of the ones that I can see your smiling faces on this beautiful, gorgeous Sunday morning. And it's such a beautiful gathering of like-minded friends. I just love the word gathering. So let's begin our gathering with a word of prayer. Sweet, sweet Spirit, we take this moment to gather in our energies so that we may be fully present in this right here, right now moment. Fully present to the promptings of the Holy Spirit in us. Fully present to the music as it speaks directly to our souls. Fully present to the message on work and play today. Fully present to this season of Advent when we turn our attention to faith, peace, and love, and joy. Today, we focus on love as we recognize its power to change lives. The power of love calls us to see from a higher place and to love for the pure joy of seeing and honoring good. So let us use our imaginations to see past any sense of disconnection and instead know that we are a part of ushering in a new era of peace, kindness, love, and joy. We know that we are divine, so we call on the divinity in each of us to guide us to be our way shower. We feel the presence of the Holy Spirit right here, right now, in this gathering, in us. And we celebrate its expressing through us, as us. And for this, we are so grateful. And so we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Unity. I'm going to ask you all to do something with me this morning. I'm Barbara. I'm your worship assistant today, and we're going to do something just a little different. If you're watching virtually, please type what I'm about to ask those in the room to say. Please type it into the comments. I want everyone to look around at your neighbors and repeat after me. Good morning.
Good morning.
I love you this morning. And I sure do appreciate you being here. Awesome. I love the vibration that came off of that. Awesome. To our virtual church family, please know we're saying this to you as well. Help us grow this loving community by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our social media pages. Now, please join me in reading our December affirmations. I am the flowing stream of life. I choose to live my life as a loving, harmonious expression of God. I rest in the knowing that everything is happening exactly as it should. And now we'll have our call to worship song performed by Anita Shaver, followed by our Advent reading with Marion Spruill and Linda Dunn.
Okay, you guys get up. It's not just me. We're all singing. And this is high, so you may have to stand on your tippy toes. Pay attention to the words. They are metaphysical. Joy to the world, the truth has come. Let earth receive its way. Let every heart heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, God now reigns. Let all souls and flow. Wait a minute. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat, repeat the sounding joy. We rule the world of truth and grace, and make the nations prove the glories of this righteousness, and wonders of this love, and wonders of that love, and wonders, wonders of God's love. Thank you. Good morning. We're doing the Advent wreath. Oh, okay. That might help. Good morning. That does sound better. Okay. We're doing the Advent wreath and for this Sunday. And the Advent wreath with its circle of evergreen represents eternal love. This is the third Sunday in the Advent, a 4-week period of spiritual preparation for the birth of the Christ child. During Advent, we pause often to remember that the Christ within us is continually being reborn as renewed faith, peace, love, and joy. Our first week, we lit the first purple candle, signifying faith. Our second week, we lit the second candle, signifying peace. This week, we relight both of these candles and also a candle for love. Let all that you do be done in love. 1 Corinthians 16:14. More than anything else, Jesus called us to love God, to love ourselves, and to love each other. We are to love our enemies as well as our friends. Jesus knew that unconditional love changes lives and changes our world. This week, as we light our third candle, we recommit ourselves to love. We create with divine love, a love that is deeper than feelings, a love which exists at the very core of our being. Think about some of your favorite Christmas movies, ones that you watched over and over and over again and never tiring of. Beyond entertainment, like classics like A Christmas Carol, Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life, and A Charlie Brown Christmas. To name a few shows us something important about ourselves. We have in common the love that elevates us beyond personality and self-centered concern, allowing us to be the vessel through which divine love expresses. To see someone through the eyes of love, to finally see ourselves that way, is truly a miracle. No matter what we have done or have not done in the past,
The love in us can be reborn at Christmas time. Love seeks to bring healing and joy everywhere it goes. Love is always calling us higher. It beckons us to expand our compassion and understanding, and to treat others as we wish to be treated. When we live in love, we are radiating the essence of Christ as us. May this love, the Christ consciousness, be reborn in you this Christmas season.
So as Nana brings up the prayer box, I just wanted to let everyone know that today I am the prayer chaplain. So no matter what you may be growing through, our prayer chaplain team, and today it's Anita and I are the ones who are here, want to be able to pray with you about it. So just seek us out after the Sunday service and we'll maybe go across the way and just have some quiet time with one another. To be included on our prayer list, you can fill out a form and put it in the prayer box before or after the service. Or you can click the prayer request button on the website or on our e-blast. So we know that prayer works. Let's take a moment now and let the names of the people for whom you specifically would like to pray surface. Just let them rise to your minds. And then imagine yourself dropping their names into the prayer box. Now I invite you to hold your loved ones in prayer, along with the people in our prayer box and on our prayer list today. And they are Lisa Fuller, Chandrika Malone and family, and Prince Farrell. Together, we affirm that these loved ones are whole, perfect, and complete. We are standing with them knowing that God is already actively working in partnership with each person to grow through the appearance of challenges. So from this place of truth, this realization of everyone's innate perfection, we hold the intention of wholeness. Wholeness for those on our prayer list today, and also for ourselves, our loved ones, our city, our state, our country, our world. We are filled with deep gratitude for that God presence within us, knowing that in all moments, in every place, that presence is with us and loves us unconditionally. We are truly blessed. May we feel deep within our souls peace and goodwill towards all people and all situations, in the sure knowledge that wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And as we're in this prayer place, thinking of our loved ones, releasing any challenges, seeing it already done, already taken care of, as we accept that for them, I invite you to accept it for yourself. that today and every day is a good day, regardless of what the outside appearances may be. I accept that everything is working for my highest good. I see that good because I look for it. I feel that good because I expect to receive it. I am one with God. That makes me one with all people. And it makes me one with all life. For I am one with the one. There is only one, just God, my partner in all that I do. So I embrace that partnership and I say yes. I say yes to all the wonderful things that today has to bring for me. And with that, I say thank you. And so it is, and amen. Before I sit down, I'm gonna steal one of Barbara's announcements because I didn't put part of it in there. For Christmas Eve, we're gonna have a service here, but not here in this room. We're gonna be down the hall in the sanctuary at 7 p.m. We printed a whole bunch of flyers for that to have out at the park last Sunday, and we brought most of them back here. So now it's up to us to get those out to people. So please take some. They should be back on the table. And, please take some to put out, to think of community boards that you can put them on. But also, they're like a quarter of a page, so they'll fit in a card. So think of people that you would like to see, that you would like to invite, and stick it in a card and mail it to them. We, as a group, are the marketing of everything that we do here. So please make sure to participate, and then a little bit more. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Wiley. All right, today's announcements. The Unity Board of Trustees will meet tomorrow evening, that's Monday, December 13th, 6:30 p.m. on Zoom. Any of you who choose are welcome to join us. We will be on the 617 Zoom number. On Wednesday, December 15th at 6:15, we will have group meditation. That also is Zoom at the 617 Zoom number. There are a few more of our youth still on the Angels Tree. I'm looking back there, I see just 2. We need you to adopt those today and have the gifts back here by or before next Sunday. Ideally, you will be present to present the gift to the youth that you purchased it for. Now we're going to have one more announcement. On Wednesday, December 29th, 6:15 to 7:15, we will have a workshop called Muscle Testing, Connecting with a Different Kind of Wisdom. Carla Green will lead this workshop live here in our classroom space, or you can participate on Zoom. We're requesting that you sign up for this workshop so we know whether you plan to attend in person or via Zoom. The sign-up sheet is on the back table. It would be helpful if those of you who plan to attend that sign up back there so we have a head count. Now we're going to have special music performed by Nisha Stewart. Renisha Stewart is a native of Raleigh. She has also lived in New York, New Jersey, Florida, and California. She is a mother of 2 grown daughters, and they are close. She says, what a blessing they are. Renisha attended St. Augustine's University and believes it's never too late to go back and finish what you started. Life is a journey, and we all come with many gifts to be expressed on this earth plane. Therefore, she expresses life in the land of the living as a businesswoman owning Interior Refreshing for 20 years. Interior Refreshing is a personal cleaning service for seniors, small businesses, and churches. She is also a vocal stylist, performing for reunions, private parties, and church events. She specializes in jazz, old soul, blues, and inspirational music. She loves reading inspirational books and has made her career helping others in transition. She has several mantras for living. One of her favorites from Maya Angelou, "When you learn, teach." And from John Wesley, "Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, for as long as you can." Please join me in welcoming Nisha Stewart.
Good morning. It's always such a joy to be with you, celebrating one of my favorite words, and our theme today, love. I don't care if the house is packed or if the strings of light are broken. I don't care if the gifts are wrapped or if there's nothing here to open. Love is not a toy and no paper can conceal it. Love is simply joy that I'm home. I don't care if the carpet's stained, we've got food on our table. I don't care if it's gonna rain, our little room is warm and stable. Love is who we are, and no season can conceal it. Love would never fall for that. We sing, ooh. Why so scared you'll mess it up when perfection keeps you haunted? All we need is your best, my love. It's all anyone ever wanted. Love is who we do, and no judgment overrule it. Love, we look to you and sing. We sing, ooh.
Love. Love will lead us, yeah? But, the one thing I would say from our human condition is love will offer us a direction to lead us if we say yes. But the wonderful thing is it's always available. So in that moment where you're like, I feel lost, I don't know where to go, you can stop and breathe because love is leading you in that moment, even if it feels like it's not. And especially when it especially feels like it's not, is when you can stop and look for it with expectation because it is there, and that's when you need to know it the most, right? So today we continue looking at the final step of living in the circle of prayer of rest. And we do it in looking at the perspective of work and play. And so what I had written up in our description that we let people know in advance what to expect is much of the difference between work and play lies between the thoughts of I must and I want to. We can use manpower to drive us forward, or we can relax and be divinely led. I got that from reading in the chapter on rest that Stella Terrell Mann wrote in her book. And this is what she said, which is the difference between work and play is that the first carries the feeling of I must, and often with resistance. And the second has the feeling of I want to, and generally with joy. Now, the objective of living in the complete circle of prayer is so to order our lives that we have less and less feeling of being driven and more assurance that we are divinely led. So that I put down on paper in advance, not knowing that this was going to lead into a song. That's why I never, ever want to approve the musician's music, because God is love. So God is the leader, and God is offering you the direction that you need to, all that, right? So, and that's what Stella wrote in 1959, and out of her whole book, the little piece that I was like, yeah, let's read that out loud. Right? So we are all, that was a divinely led to, here, put this down, and hopefully you all get something out of it. And what I know is that anybody that does will get it differently in the way that works for whatever you're doing in your life and whatever you did up to this point, whether that was one day or 20 million years, right? Whatever led you to now gives you the perspective of how you can hear it and how you can use it. And that's true of these words, of any words I ever say, of the music, of what you hear on the radio when you leave here, if you still listen to the radio, right? Or whatever your thing is. The chapter on rest that Stella Terrell Mann wrote, she titled it, Rest Without Worry, Hurry, or Fear. And that's directly what we're talking about when we're talking about work and play, right? Because if you're approaching work from the place of, I got to get this done, I don't even want to do this, but I have to get this done or they'll fire me. Or, if you're feeling the weight of what you have to do, then there's some worry, hurry, or fear in that, right? You can be like, oh, I'm not scared. And it's like, really? Because, what? If there's worry, there's a little bit of fear. Like, we use our words however we have our own connotations to them. But at the root of worry and anger and whatever those other negative emotions you might put in, there's some fear in there. There's fear of it not being the way you want it to be, or not being the way you think it's supposed to be, or not being. And so releasing that, that's a moment of rest. Releasing that. And now, so it's way easier to say release it than it is to actually release it, right? So that's where we're invited to have some things that we can think about. There's somebody in your life be it someone that you love dearly in adult form or a baby or whatever, that you can always think of them and it's always going to be a positive thought. Or some location on the planet, whether you've actually been there or whether you've only seen it on TV, there's some place that you can't think of that place without smiling, right? Or with waterfalls for me or something that I find delightful to look at. I never see a waterfall and feel bad about it, right? For the longest time, I think I was in college and I went to some resort down in the Bahamas, and there was a giant swimming pool with a waterfall in the middle of it, and you could swim through the waterfall, and then there was a cave and you could swim to the other side, and there was another swimming pool, right? So for years I could just think of that place because it was cool for me. So whatever your thing is, have some of those. Purposely sit down one day and just journal about that. My favorite way of journaling is what I call kind of the unconscious writing. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about sentences. Don't worry about whether what you're saying makes sense or not. Just put pen to paper and start writing whatever words come to mind. Set an alarm is a cool way to do it. Do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Set an alarm, and that you're just going to write whatever words come to mind, whether they connect into sentences or not, for that period of time. And then when it's done, take a moment, take a breath, maybe go grab a soda, or whatever, and then come back and then read it and see what it comes to you, right? So I invite you to sit down at some point and journal on what are my happies, people, places, thoughts. What are those happies? So that when some of the other stuff comes up, that you can say, thinking about that is not helping me right now, and I can't possibly get this job done right now in a way that's going to be helpful for anybody else because I'm doing it from a negative perspective. So let me get let me just take a moment to get there, and now let's get this done, right? That is called doing the work of work and play. The work is getting yourself ready to always have yourself ready to be aligned in spirit so that you can work through the spirit. Because when you're working with God on stuff, let's say you have a job that you just don't like it. The only thing you like about the job is the check that helps pay the bills, right? I've had a few of those jobs in my lifetime. So you're like, well, but I have to have the job because I do need that check. And so it's like, all right, well, there's got to be something about why you're doing this that you can be happy about. Whatever that thing is. Maybe it is just, I need the check. Okay, I need the check. Why do I need the check? Because I want this bill paid. I want the electric bill paid. Because I sure do like it in the winter when the heat is on. Or I really like to walk in a dark room and turn the light on so I can see what I'm doing, right? And so if that's the thing, you're like, this is what I'm happy about today. I'm so grateful that this job is here so that when I get home in the dark, I can turn the light on because I really like a light on in the dark, right? And then that's called doing the work so that when you're on the job, you can be at a more restful place in your mind, which allows it to be more of a playful spirit. And once you start having some fun, even if you have to manufacture it a little bit, right? You're like, well, in order to have fun here, I got to think about being warm at home. Okay, well, now you get to be warm in your thoughts while you're here. And once you can be playful and have a little bit more of something going on here, now this is going to be a little bit better. And that person that sits 2 chairs down from you or right next to you or down the hall that you've never had a pleasant energy passing with, forget words, right? Then suddenly that lightens up a little bit because once you're having a little bit more fun, you're putting a little bit more fun energy in the room. And that is contagious. Have you ever, I didn't think about doing this here, but we can try it right now. Have you ever laughed on purpose? Like you didn't feel like laughing and you just decided to fake a laugh for a second. And once you start doing it, you can't help but for it to go into a real laugh. Is there anybody that's not done that in here? Well, let's try it right now. I had not planned on doing this, but we'll do it right now. All right, so everybody, on the count of 3, just do some crazy laugh, like one that would embarrass you if you were the only person laughing in the room like that. I'm the only one on microphone, right? 1, 2, 3, laugh. So here's the thing. You obviously, in the office, you probably can't actually do that out loud. Maybe you can. Maybe you have that job. But most of us probably can't do that in the office. But you can think about it because you just had the experience. So not only can you think about it and hear it in your mind, you can now feel it. Because laughter and happiness takes on a whole feeling in your body. And when you shift that, like the way you sit in your chair is different. That's the work. It's about getting into that place. So here are a few things that I wrote down. And this one, I promise you, I was thinking of this, so I was sitting there, I was like, I need to go take this and show a couple of people that came late for various reasons today that I wrote this last night, and I'm not talking about them now. But if you can use the information, the question is, do you prepare or do you grab stuff that you need as you're running out the door? And then remember something on your own way that you didn't grab because you hadn't already prepared. I learned that I needed to get that stuff the night before and then set it in front of the door so I can't even open the door without the bag of stuff, right? And I learned when I was in Los Angeles, everybody, you don't have to have been to L.A. to have heard traffic is bad in L.A., right? But you learn when you live there, you learn how to use surface streets an awful lot and stay off the highways because that's where it's especially bad. But you also learn you don't want to go from Santa Monica to Burbank at 5 p.m. It's just, unless you got a lot of time and some good music in your car because you're going to be there a while, right? So, but if you know, look, this is where I've got to be at this time, and point A is where I'm starting because that's where I am, and point B is where I got to go. And then you just learn, all right, well, let me not leave late so that then now I'm sitting still on the 405 and I'm panicking. But panicking for what? What exactly is it you're going to do about it now? The only thing you could have done about it was to have left 15 minutes earlier, and you knew that before you didn't leave, right? So I learned to go ahead and leave earlier and be prepared to be comfortable sitting. See, I used to want to roll in right on time because I didn't want to sit around and wait until I was late enough that I realized it was too high of a cost for me because there was too much stress involved in the being late and the running in and the apologizing and the right and all. And so I would rather get there 10 minutes early. So it's like, are you always late? And have you decided to give yourself the excuse of saying, yeah, I'm just always late? Or is on time 10 minutes early for you? Because I can tell you that if you do the work in advance, that on time's 10 minutes early becomes like just an easy place to be. Because then you can think about stuff that you hadn't had time to think of in years because you were running late so much you never had time to think of the extra stuff. You were just trying to catch up. You were trying to stay in front of the bouncing ball that's about to smack, right? So let me see what else I wrote in here. I said, we do this by doing the work of connecting to the inner spirit, the inner teacher, God. And when you do that, your work will always be play. And I know I said that in some way, but as we look at this, here's the other thing I was going to tell you about the time thing is I had a lot more than 2 jobs in LA, but 2 that served this purpose. I worked at General Hospital for a while in the production office, and I was a temp. And I couldn't get to that job on time. I mean, I left 20 minutes early one day and then got out the door and I was like, oh, well, I'm early. I can stop and get a bagel. And then I was still 10 minutes late to the, right? But they didn't care really when I showed up. I mean, if I showed up an hour late, that would have been a problem. But I was often 15 to 30 minutes later than what my start time was the whole time I was there. And I kept saying, oh, I want to do better. But I didn't because nobody really cared if I did or didn't, right? And then I got there and the work went on fine on that. Then I had this telemarketing job where I sold extended car warranties on the telephone. I did that for a year. But I did it in the early days when people had actually filled out surveys. So when I'd call them and they'd start yelling at me about telemarketing them. And I'm like, do you have a 2003 Ford with 35,000 miles, blah, blah, blah? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, I'm not psychic, sir. You wrote this down, right? So I did that one. But on that job, we would have, it was a sales job. So there were daily bonuses of sales, right? If you meet this goal, you'll get $50 extra or whatever. But if you clocked in 1 minute late, you didn't qualify for the bonuses of the day. I was 30 minutes early to that job every single day. Because I wasn't going to miss the money. I was only there for that was one of those jobs. There wasn't anything about that job I liked except the check, except then I started liking some of the people. I'm still friends with some of them, right? But it's all about perspective. So when you say, I was saying, I can't get to that job on time to save my life. Well, it's because I didn't have to, because the second it really mattered, I was early to that job was never late to that job, ever. So it's all about perspective and whether it's important enough, right? All right, so here's the last part that I want us to look at. If we can put up the circle of prayer. So on this, you all have this today, because I want you to take it home and use it all the time. So you've got this sheet. I invite you to put it on your refrigerator, next to your mirror in your bathroom, whatever, wherever it works for you. And part of this, what I want you to see is when you draw the lines, I've mentioned this before, if you draw the lines, there's a great partnership in each of the six. So rest matches up with work, desire with thought, asking with listening, that sort of thing. And so on the other side of this, I have put down some affirmations that help us work those. So I want us all to read these together. And the first one is not one of those. It's just the overall. And then we've got 2 of the 12 steps in each of the affirmations. So let us read together, either here or Chris will put them up here one at a time. The first is, I have the power and responsibility to allow my dreams to come true. And the responsibility. It's up to you to say yes to it, and then to listen, and then to take action on it. I can't do it for you. Love you a lot, but I can't make your dream come true for you. And you can't do it for me either, right? That's our responsibility of that. Okay, the next affirmation, I give meaningful thought to my desires, knowing that my thoughts create the things in my life. And next, I make decisions about what to give my attention and intention to. Then I speak about it with confidence, knowing that my words are powerful. There's the saying, words create things, right? Your words are power, but your thoughts are so important before you get to those words too. It's how you think about those, because you can say winter and be sweating and it doesn't mean, right? So, and the other thing I want to point out on that is that you're giving your attention and your intention. You've got to give it your attention, but then you've got to determine that this is something you're going to move forward with in order to shift things. Next is, which one is next? Yes. I ask for what I want in my life, and then I listen for the still small voice of God to tell me what I need to know to manifest it. Next, love destroys roadblocks of fear and negativity so that I can easily accept the good things and moments in my life. Next, I have faith in my partnership with God, so I give freely from the unending stream of good that is always flowing to me, through me, for me, and as me. And lastly, I do the work of keeping my thoughts filtered through my spiritual truth, so I stay in a restful state of mind, whether I'm laying down or moving around. I have to tell you, I was real proud when that rhyme came out, because I didn't do that on purpose. It just popped out. So, I invite you to use these. Use them in whatever way works well for you. Get an extra one of these if you need so you can tape on both sides. Take some of these to somebody else that you think you can help with this information. One of the things I'll invite you to do this week, try one of them. If you really like it, do it to all of them. Pick one of them. Choose on purpose or just close your eyes and lay your finger down and then write that one down on the top of a piece of paper and then just journal for a minute on what comes up for you, what you really think about that. And be honest. If you're like, I don't believe this part at all, write that down, but then start asking yourself, well, why don't you believe this? What is it that you do believe? And just look for the spiritual truth in it if you need to do that journey. Or just sit there and affirm, this is true because of and dance around in it and use it. This is wonderful information. If I did write it, about this was something, this was a God thing. It's not about who wrote this. It's about you using it in the way it will work for you. We come together. This is a great gathering, but what really matters is how you use this information in your own life to look for your happy, to live your happy, to be as joyful as possible all day, every day. I love you, I bless you, and I behold the Christ in you. Thanks for being here today. So now is our time for giving. So if you have your gift with you that you'll be placing in the bag today, I invite you to take it out and place it in your hands. If not, if you give electronically, I invite you to place your hands on your heart and let us all say this prayer together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And as the gifts are coming up, I will invite Charlotte to come up and say a prayer on that. And after Charlotte prays, we will get some more beautiful music from Nisha.
Nana, if you want to come up here. So let's take a moment now to get quiet again and tune into our heart space and experience our many, many blessings. And from this place of appreciation and joy, we turn our attention to the gifts that we joyfully offer in support of this, our ministry. A ministry that serves us and nourishes us. A ministry we take joy in supporting with our time, our talents, and our treasure. We bless this ministry. We see it growing and reaching out, touching others with its powerful message of oneness, unity, and love. We lift up our hands and infuse this love offering with energy, gratitude, and love, and dedicate it to our awakening and the awakening of all humankind. Together, we transform our lives and co-create a prosperous spiritual community that blesses the world. and so it is. Amen.
Thank you so much for that wonderful message today. Reminder. Wonderful. I may have sung this song before, but I thought it was a good idea to do it again. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. Some say he wandered very far, over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one magic day, he passed my way. And as we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. The greatest thing we are gonna ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so a few reminders for you for this week coming up. The board meeting is tomorrow night. You're welcome for that. All of our stuff, we say the 617 number because we were using a couple of different numbers, but we're down to just using the 617 number, and it's on the back of your bulletin, both the number and the passcode. So 6:30 to 8:30 tomorrow night is the board meeting. On Wednesday night, we have the group meditation, or Charlotte is leading that at 6:15 to 7:15-ish. And next Sunday, our lesson is called The Rest is History. But it's mostly going to be a musical service. I think everybody's singing something that sings here. And the youth will be down here with us, and all of you wonderful adults who have adopted all of our youth will present your gifts to those youth here, including the two that are still on that tree that two of you are going to get before we leave here, right? And then what's the other part that I wanted? So make sure, if you can't be here, please make sure to meet someone here or to get your gift here, so that if the kid happens to not be here, then we'll get it to them. But if they are here, we want to make sure their gift is here. And we want to make sure that you don't adopt a youth that you're related to. That's the goal, is that somebody that's not related to them gives them a gift. All right. And then lastly, please do help promote our Christmas Eve service. I know we haven't done that for a bit here, but we're doing that. And Nancy Pitkin is coming in to do the music for that. And so we want to spread the word and really let everybody know that that's happening. And so thank you for helping us with that. And now let's do the peace song and then the prayer for protection. Can you do the peace song?
All right, everybody stand up and let's sing.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator.
And together let us say, the light of God surrounds us. The presence of love enfolds us. The power of peace protects us. And the one presence that lives within all creation enlivens us. Wherever we are, love is, peace is, light is, God is, and all is well. Go have a great week on purpose.